All right, number 16, solve each by elimination. So when we solve by elimination, I'm going to rewrite this so that the y's line up a little bit better. When we solve by elimination, what we're looking for are opposites. So when you see this word, you need to think of the word opposites. And so right now, negative 2 and 1 are not opposites, but you see the 4 minus 4. So those are opposites. When you have opposites, you can add the two equations together. So this goes away, and so now negative 2 plus 1. So whenever you have different signs, you're going to end up subtracting. Take the sign of the bigger, what you have more. So I have more negative, so I know it's going to be negative. And so this is just 2 minus 1 is 1x. This has gone away. Same thing, whenever you have different signs. Here I have positive 7, negative 6, so I have more positive, so I know my answer is going to be positive. Now 7 minus 6 is 1. And so now I need to get rid of the negative, that negative 1, so I divide both sides by negative 1. And so x is equal to negative 1. So this is just like we did in the graphing. We have these two equations, and if we were to graph them, we're looking for the point where they cross. So I want to know a point, and a point is always given as x comma y. So right now this is only half the answer. So I know half the answer is negative 1. So now to figure out the other half, we're going to take this and plug it in to one of the original equations. So I'm going to plug it into the bottom. And so the bottom is x minus 4y equals 7. And so I'm just going to replace the x with negative 1 and then solve it. So add 1 to both sides. So I get negative 4y equals 8. Divide both sides by negative 4. And I get y equals negative 2. So if you want to make sure you got the answer right, since we used the bottom equation, let's take that negative 1 and multiply it by negative 2. So negative 2 times negative 1, and then we're going to take the y and multiply it by the 4. We want to see if that equals negative 6. So this gives us a positive 2. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. And so 2 minus 8 is negative 6. And so that worked. So that means that this is our correct answer. All right, so as we look at 17, you should notice that we don't have opposites right now. So we wouldn't want to add. If I add right now, I get 3x plus 12y equals negative 9. And so I need one of the x, either the x's or the y's, to go away. And so what we want to do is, this would be a good problem if this had a negative 2 there. So if we had negative 2x, that would be perfect. But it wouldn't be fair to just put negative 2 in that one spot. And so what we have to do is we have to multiply the whole entire equation by negative 2. So we're going to take negative 2 and multiply each term by negative 2. I got to put a negative 2 here, negative 2 here, and a negative 2 here. So that gives me negative 2x. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8y, and negative 3 times negative 2 is equal to 6. So that was the top equation. Now let's just rewrite the bottom equation. 2x plus 8y is equal to negative 6. And so now you may already notice that these are opposites, so they go away. These are opposites, so these go away. These are opposites, so these go away. So I'm left with 0 equals 0. So when I have 0 equals 0, that is a true statement. And so when this is true, 0 equals 0, we say many solutions. So many solutions is our answer. Sometimes you'll see it as infinitely many solutions. And the reason this is because if you were to actually solve these for y equals mx plus b, what happens is they're the same line. And so they're right on top of each other. So they have more than one answer. So they have infinitely many answers. All right, for 18, I don't have opposites, so I need to make opposites. A couple different ways you can do this. The easiest way is just take these two numbers and multiply them. So if I want to get rid of the x, I multiply the top by 12 and multiply the bottom by 10. You can also find a common, or at least common multiple, but since these numbers actually work out pretty nice, I'm just going to go ahead and multiply everything by 12. So I'll write it over here on the side this time. So this gives me negative 120x plus 120y is equal to 120. So now I'm going to multiply the bottom by 10. I got to multiply everything by 10. And so that gives me 120x minus 120y is equal to 120. So again, we have opposites, opposites, but these are not opposites. So on the left side I get 0 equals 240. And so this is false. And so when it's false, there's no solutions. And so if we were to, again, graph these, now this is an example of having parallel lines. Since they don't cross, there's never a solution. So the answer would be no solution. All right, last one, number 19. So again, I don't have opposites. I do have opposite signs, so I have a positive and negative. So I'm going to work with the x's. You could work with the y's and multiply. You just have to multiply one of them by a negative number. So I'm going to multiply the top by 3. So each and every term by 3. And I'm going to multiply the bottom by 5. Each and every term by 5. Now I got the 3. I'm working with the 3 and 5 because I decided to get rid of the x's. So if I want to get rid of the x's, I just multiply the top by the bottom number and multiply the bottom by that top number. Alright, so let's see what we get. So 3 times 5 gives us a 15x. 3 times 2, 6y. And 3 times 14 is 42. Now the bottom gives us negative 15x. So now you can see we have those opposites. 3 times 5 is 15y. And 0 times 5 is just 0. So now when I add them together, these go away. So I get 21y. These add to 42. Divide both sides by 21. And I get y equals 2. So again, remember, we're looking for an ordered pair, an x comma y. So right now I know the y value is 2. So to figure out the x value, you're just going to take the 2 and plug it into one of the equations. So this time I'm going to use the top equation. You can use the bottom one, but I like how these are all positive. So again, I know what y is, so you want to make sure you plug it in for the y. So 5x plus 2 times 2 is equal to 14. So now we simplify. 5x plus 4 is equal to 14. Minus the 4 from both sides. So we get 5x equals 10. Divide both sides by 5. So x equals 2. Now if you wanted to check it, you'd use the bottom equation because we used the top to get the answer. So let's go over to the side and just check it. So negative 3, x is 2, so put a 2 there. Plus 3, y is 2, so put a 2 there. So that gives us negative 6 plus 6 equals 0. That is true. So that guarantees we got the answer right.